What's going on, people? This is Shad Harris, and today is another edition of Interviews with the Rebel. And today I am sitting with somebody I've known for probably about the last 10 years or so.
If not more.
Probably so. I had pictures when you had like no hair, you had like a little fro. Yeah, all those phases of your life. So we have a singer, songwriter, entertainer. What are the adjectives of yours? Entrepreneur. Miss SANURA, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. So for the people that don't know you, who are you and what do you do?
Okay, I'm SANURA, like he said. I make music. I make lingerie. I sell lingerie. I do commercials. I do print. There's a lot of things that's going on. Yeah.
Okay. I know you do a hell of a lot. When I first met you, you were just out here singing.
Yeah.
So you've kind of evolved the game since then.
Yeah.
Okay. So, a nice little icebreaker question I like to ask.
Okay.
So, if you had to put together a 3 to 5 song playlist of songs that reflect your life, what songs would they be?
Oh my God, I don't know.
You have to know.
They'd have to be my songs?
No,
it could be anybody's songs.
Anybody's songs.
I would have to say So Ambitious by Jay-Z.
Okay.
I would have to say
Blueprint 3 was a trash album, by the way.
Whoa.
I'm a Jay-Z stan, but
no
Blueprint 3
Jay-Z
is trash.
slander here. No, it wasn't. You have to go through and listen to it again if you think that. You do.
He was trying a lot of different things that wasn't working.
You know what? But there was some songs on there, though. There really were some songs on there. You gotta listen again.
Continue.
Okay. Okay, so I'll say that one. 5 though? Oh man.
3 to 5.
All right, I'll give 3. Let me see. We can say, now I'm just throwing stuff out there. I don't know. Give me another question.
You do music.
I know, but off the top.
Off the top.
Okay.
Mine are In Pursuit of Happiness, Cudi.
Okay.
Kanye Can't Tell Me Nothing.
Okay.
And what was the other one? Public Service Announcement.
Okay. All right. So I will say, what's another really good one? That defined my life.
Yeah. Or not define your whole life, but maybe a certain phase of your life.
Okay. I'll say Sure Thing by Miguel, because I remember that came out like right when I moved to New York, and I used to have that song on a repeat. So I don't know, does that count?
Yeah, that works.
And I will have to say for my third one,
I just knew you had songs like off the top of your head. Like,
no, I don't. And like now it takes me even longer to think of stuff like this. I just hate those random questions. I hate it. So I will say, okay, for my last one, I'm going to go with I Wonder by Kanye West. Okay.
Why that song?
I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those very introspective songs that you're kind of like, you're kind of battling with yourself on, okay, is this for me? Is this not? No, forget it. Like, I can do exactly what I want to do. Okay. Whenever the universe wants it for me, that's when it's coming, Okay. So, yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so I believe that the origin stories of people are like some of the greatest stories ever.
Oh, man.
So, what is your origin story as far as, the Cliff Notes version of, what things in your life made you who you are today?
I would definitely say, when I was out here, really going hard with my music, when you're doing it at the time, you don't really see the value in what it's teaching you. But as I've gotten older, I've realized, like, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been prepared for a lot of the things that, that I've done or that I've been through, when things came up later. Right. So I definitely feel like, going out there, selling my CDs back when CDs were a thing, and putting together my shows and going to all the open mic nights, and
used to be everywhere.
Yeah, for real. And even like modeling for like local brands and stuff like that. Like that put my head in a new direction too. Like, okay, I don't have to just sing. I can also do this, this, and this too, and still be good with that, you know? Right. So, yeah.
So, matter of fact, let's take it back a little bit. When did you realize that you wanted to sing?
I've been singing all my life. So, when I realized that, okay, maybe I should at least see what happens with this, you know, I had just been just like partying and going out and things like that, but I hadn't made an album.
Okay. What's the name of the
album? Ultimate Accessory.
Okay.
And, you know, I didn't do anything with it. And then, you know, I got linked up with somebody and they were like, no, this is really good. You have to do something with this. Right. So if you're not going to do it with the person that you made it with, you need to come out here and you need to do it here and just see where it goes. Right. So yeah, so that's when I decided, okay, it's time to at least try, at least get serious. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so you were here, you know, pretty much hustling music for, you know, a couple of years. At what point, actually 2-part question. At what point did you realize that you were like, this is like your passion?
I realized it when I saw how much fun I was having, actually. When I saw that it was kind of like changing my perspective of myself. Because I always knew that I had talent. I always knew that I could sing, but it's something about when you give it to other people and they kind of let you know, like, oh my God, like this is so good, like you have to do this. And it's just that support that you get from others, it helps you see yourself for who you are and what you need to be doing. So it was kind of like, what do you call this? Symbiosis? Flow of energy?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Yeah. So it was kind of like a flow of energy. Like once I saw other people enjoying what I was doing and actually reaching out and saying, hey, let's do this and let's do that, I was kind of like, okay, well, maybe I could do this. Like maybe I can really make this a thing for myself.
Okay. So you were having a good time with music. You were putting out projects. You were performing everywhere. When did you realize that, hey, I need to leave 757?
I kind of felt like I did all that I could do here. After, I think I grinded here for maybe, like 2 years, I think. And I was just sitting in my bed one day. I was like, well, what else is there for me to do here? I've done all the shows. I've met all the people. I've sold all the CDs. Like, I've done the modeling here. I've done so much here. And I literally woke up one day and I was just so unhappy when I woke up. And I was like, there has to be something else for me. Like I have to know that I can take this somewhere else and do it just more, you know?
Yeah. So you weren't scared when you made that leap? Or was it just like,
I moved to New York. So I was just like, I have family there. Like it's not really that big of a deal, but it is because it's still, you know, you're leaving the nest. But it wasn't.
But you had family, so that's
I had family.
That's like a good little layup. Right
yeah. So
okay. So how were your New York days?
Oh my God, hardest days of my life. You have no idea. It was so hard.
You had the alley-oop though. You were staying with your people.
Yeah, but all my family they don't live in New York City. They live in Long Island.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to be in the city.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what I could do in the city. So, you know, I didn't really go to them for a lot of help because I'm always a person, I like to figure things out on my own. So no, that was like the hardest time of my whole entire life. It was so hard.
Outside of
it was
the
a
travel,
struggle.
Outside of the wanting to be in the city, what about it made it so hard or so difficult? Because everybody talks about wanting to, you know, leave Virginia and go to Atlanta, New York, or LA, but they don't really understand the struggle that comes along with that.
Right. Okay. Well, the first thing was I was one of those dollar and a dream people.
Okay.
So I didn't have any money saved up. I said I had maybe a couple $100s. And I was like, no, I'm going to make this happen. Woo. So I got out there. And in reality, it was like, okay, but you need some money. So I had to work.
Right.
I had to work. And my thing was, I would always go in and out between, okay, you need to work. And then like, no, I can do this. I don't have to work. But at that point, I hadn't really figured out the formula to how can I do this without having to have a job as well.
Is there a formula for that?
No. I think that depending on where you are, you create your own formula. Like, it's not a formula for everybody, because you have to take into account.
Some people need a job.
Some people need a job, but you also have to take into account sometimes random stuff just happens. And it's like, oh, okay, so maybe I don't have to work. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So, you was out there for a couple years, right?
I was in New York for 3 years, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you decided to make the jump across country to LA. Yeah. What was the transition between, like, all right, I'm in New York, but shit been rough. And then I was like, all right, now it's time for me to go elsewhere.
Okay. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. Because
at this time you still like really want to pursue singing, right? Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, well, what am I going to do next? I was like, it's too cold here in New York. This ain't for me. Like, I'm losing weight. I'm looking crazy. Like, no, I cannot do this. Is too harsh. I can't do this. I can't live in these conditions.
Right.
So I was like, I want to move somewhere warm. I want to still, work in entertainment. I still want to pursue my career. Want to pursue my goals. Where can I go? And I was like, ding, LA. And I was like, okay.
Makes sense.
Never been there before. Yeah. But I was like, well, maybe. So I started kind of looking on like, just to see what was out there, what areas, what kind of places to live there were. And I just, one day, I think I went to go look at a spot in New York. And then when I came back, I felt so weird about it. And I was like, okay, I probably need to move. I just felt like it's not meant for me to stay here.
Okay.
So I just booked a flight to LA.
Did you already have people out there?
No.
Okay, let's break this down real quick, just because I just need to understand the thought process behind this. Okay. So, you didn't have like any family or friends out there at all?
No, I didn't know anyone.
All right, so you're like, know what? I'm booking an airplane ticket.
One way.
One way, okay. And when you landed, like, all right, now what?
No. When I landed?
Yeah.
No. When I landed, I kind of had a better plan when I moved here. When I moved to LA than I had when I moved to New York. Because I kind of learned from those mistakes. So I made sure, I had my plan of, okay, well, how am I going to find a place here? Okay, I have my money saved up this time. So it was a little bit more thought out, even though to everyone else, they were like, oh my God, because I didn't tell anybody until maybe 2 weeks before I was about to leave.
Oh, okay.
So it was a little bit more thought out.
So you had a place to stay?
I stayed in the Airbnb, and then while I was in the Airbnb, I looked for places to stay. And then I found a place to stay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
then I'm assuming you had to find a job and everything.
Not at first, because I had money saved up.
Oh, okay. Okay. So how was moving to LA?
It was amazing.
Really?
It was a feeling because when I was on that plane, I was so nervous and so anxious. And then when we got there and we were about to land, the pilot was just like, all right, everybody, we're in LA. The weather is da-da-da-da-da. And you got to remember, it was in January. Yeah. So in New York, it was already like 30 degrees outside, about to snow the next week. Right. And then he's like, yeah, 80 degrees. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I can't believe I just did this. Yes.
That's all you needed to hear.
Oh my God. No, it was crazy. It was like, because internally I was like, oh my God, I did it. I can't believe I did it. And that was it.
So have you always been this person that was just like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm out. Or like, this is what I want. I'm going to just go after it no matter what.
Yeah. Okay. I've always kind of just done what I wanted to do. Even as a kid, like, I was that person.
How has that been? Because normally that's frowned upon, especially by like parents.
Oh, yeah.
So how's that been for you?
Like with my parents and everything? Yeah. Well, at first, I mean, it's frowned upon because, not because they don't want you to do it, but because they're scared and they want you to be okay.
Right.
So I would listen to them a lot and the things that they would say a lot, especially when I was in New York. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like it would make me scared. Yeah. Even though things would be unfolding the way I never thought they would, like there would be really good things still happening. I would still have that fear like in my chest because of what, my parents wanted me to be more cautious. So when I moved to LA, I was like, well, how about this? I'm not going to tell anybody what I'm doing until after it's done. Because I don't need that fear in here. I don't want them to be scared if it's a little shaky. So I'm going to just wait, and then I'll tell them what's going on when it's done. After the wins start happening and then they see, then I'll let them know. And that has been my most effective strategy yet, actually.
Really? Mm-hmm. Because now I'm guessing you don't have to deal with all the questions or all the fear, and then that's going to affect how you move. And that makes a lot of sense.
I don't tell nobody. And in turn, I've noticed that my family kind of expects for good things to happen to me, for me because of that, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So I guess you had to prove yourself that like these crazy thoughts and ideas I have actually will work.
Listen, once they start seeing you making money doing what it is that you're trying to do, they don't ask no more questions.
Yeah, I bet.
They don't ask any more questions.
I feel like this year my mom realized that I actually make a good living for myself.
Yeah.
And so before she used to send me the link for USA government jobs.
See?
Every year. And I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. And then this year she said, oh, you're making a little bit of money out here. Now I don't get sent the links anymore. So I get it. So I guess you just have to prove that you know what you're doing.
Exactly. To yourself and to them, you know?
Okay. So how has working in entertainment been in LA?
Amazing.
Really?
I've had some of the best opportunities I've ever had in my life in LA.
Like what?
Well,
I know you did the Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, you know, obviously pandemic, so we're not touring anyway. But you know, I started performing with them in 2017. I've shot over a dozen commercials there.
I seen you in a Target commercial. Randomly.
Not Target. I haven't done a Target commercial.
Yeah. Are you sure?
No, but I'm positive. I would know if I did a Target commercial. I've done Old Navy.
It might have been Old Navy.
Okay, maybe it was Old Navy. But I've shot a lot of commercials. I've done a lot of print work. I've met a lot of really great people. And, you know, it's just, you know, even with just starting the lingerie line, like everything there has been like just very serendipitous there, you know? So,
you just randomly run into the right people?
Yeah, honestly, that's how I started doing everything there. Just randomly running into the right people that pointed me in the right direction.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the lingerie line.
Okay.
Little Kitten.
Yes.
Okay. So what was the thought process behind wanting to do something like that?
Well, at first it started off because I wanted to have like some kind of merch behind my music. And I was like, well, everybody does like t-shirts and hats and pens and stuff like that. I was like, well, why don't I make it sexy? Like, why don't I make it an extension of who I am? So originally it was just supposed to be that. It wasn't really supposed to be anything too crazy. Okay. And then when I started, you know, getting the feedback about it and getting just a little bit more deeper into it and, you know, doing a little bit more research on lingerie and, you know, seeing the images that were being put out there in regards to the models that people were using for the lingerie, I kind of felt like I was a little bit more compelled to actually go all in with it.
Okay. So I'm guessing some of the imagery was like, you know, maybe like skinny white women.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of thought to myself, like, I want to see Black women in this light, you know? I want to see Black women being sexy and classy and just, you know, just looking full glammed out. And not saying that brands aren't doing that, but I wanted to be a part of that too.
Okay.
You know? So.
Okay. So what were some of the struggles with getting that off the ground? Because I feel like there has to be some struggle.
Oh, yeah. Well, finding suppliers for the things that you need, you know, that took a lot of research to figure out, okay, well, where do I get this from? Where do I get my boxes from? Where do I get the tissue paper or the flyers, inserts, you know? Like a lot of research goes into that. A lot of research goes into to seeing which items would be the best fit for your customers or just for women in general. Okay. So definitely doing my research and giving that my due diligence, setting up photo shoots, very stressful. Huh?
I say you do a lot of those.
Well, yeah, but not even just for myself, but finding models, finding the right photographer, finding the right location. I have to do all that.
Okay.
So, and getting the stuff on the way. It's a lot. It's a lot.
So I do a lot of content for other people.
Right.
So sometimes I have to like really plan everything out. It seemed like that would be like the fun part.
It's fun, but it's stressful. Okay. Coordinating schedules for like 5-6 people at a time.
Yeah. And this person's free at Tuesday at 6. This person's free at Tuesday at 4. So.
And then sometimes people are not showing up to the photo shoot. So Now I can't even just direct the photo shoot. I got to throw the lingerie on now too, you know?
Yeah. So what has been the best part about starting your own line?
The best part, I don't know, kind of just seeing the fruits of my labor when it comes to, you know.
Because how long have you been doing it?
It's been a little over a year. I started it last August.
I thought you've been doing it a little bit longer.
No. I started it last August. No, just kind of like seeing the fruits of it, and not just, and you know, when people post their little videos opening the boxes, because it's like, I put a lot of thought into that experience too.
Right.
And they're like, oh my God, you know, the little boomerang of them flipping the box up. I love that. Just like people being happy to get their lingerie. Like, I love that.
Okay. So for somebody who's looking to start like a lingerie line or, you know, an intimates line, I guess, what tangible advice would you give somebody who's looking to kind of get into that space?
Do your research.
Okay.
You know, because you can either design your stuff, you can do wholesalers, you can do things like that.
You do a little bit of designing as well, right?
I do some designing too. Okay. So mine is kind of like a mix of both.
Okay.
But I would definitely say, you know, make sure that wherever you're getting your product from, make sure it's a good fit on you. Make sure the materials feel good. Make sure things are right before you start selling your stuff. You know, make sure your packaging is on point. Make sure your website is on point. Because sometimes I'm like, there's people who DM to purchase, and I'm like, people don't want to do that. No. You know what I'm saying? You got to do your due diligence when it comes to starting a brand like that.
True.
You know?
How long did it take you to kind of get all that like down packed? You say you've been doing it for a little over a year. So how long did it take you to kind of get in your groove of like, all right, this is my line, this is my business, and now I have to do all these things to make it run smoothly?
Well, it's interesting because the further I get with it, the more processes I have to add. So I don't even feel like I'm at that point where it's just like, okay, this is great, you know, this is how it is, and this is the way. I feel like I try to get better with every single release that I have.
Okay.
I try to make the website better. I try to make the garments better. Like, I just try to make everything, the whole experience better as a whole. So I'm constantly trying to like move up when it comes to that.
Okay. Are you doing it all yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a struggle?
I mean, I've had to add certain things on. Like, I have somebody that when I do design the things, like I'll have somebody that makes them. I recently had to hire a bookkeeper.
I just hired one of those.
See? Yeah. It's kind of like, you don't want to have to do everything.
Right. Okay.
So.
All right. So switch it up a little bit. I believe in the phrase, you have to spend money to make money. So what is the one thing that you spent money on that has led to the biggest return for you?
Photos.
How so? I know that to be true.
Okay.
You're right. But I feel like other people would be like, I'm gonna just get my cousin who got a camera come and take some photos.
Well, I did that.
Yeah.
At first, you know, you have your little tripod and you take pictures on your iPhone. But I feel like no, actually having really good pictures of your products and of beautiful people in the products.
Right.
That I feel like really goes a long way.
Definitely can't have no Uggs in the joint.
It can't be looking crazy.
Yeah.
But I definitely having good product pictures, having good pictures on to promote on your social media of your products. I think that's probably the most money that I've had to spend so far. Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of which, you have these great photos. Is there a thought process behind how you promote your brand? Or is it just like, all right, this is a fire photo, I'm gonna just throw it out and kind of see what happens? Or is it something that you think about when it comes to like the strategy of promoting yourself? Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, okay, this is a nice picture. But sometimes it's kind of like, okay, like I have that planner thing, that app.
Yeah.
Later app, I think.
Later.
Planoly. I kind of alternate between both. But I like to be able to see how my feed is going to look on Instagram specifically. And then I realized that some kinds of pictures work better on Twitter and not just having one picture that you post on Twitter. The side-by-side pictures do better on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, you can put up to like 4. But I like to do one here, so that they can kind of see the full thing and won't have to click on it, but they can.
Okay.
And then, I think that's pretty much it. Definitely, I just started recently getting into doing ads, like social media ads. It's okay.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Especially using like Facebook ads, man.
Oh, man.
It's a headache.
It's a headache, and then they like to flag my stuff a lot for adult-related content.
Right.
So I was getting ads pulled left and right like a while back, and I was like, "What's going on here?" Like, it's a racy content. It's racy content.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's definitely been a struggle, a hurdle that I've had to jump across. So.
All right. So so that is how you post your content. Where do you plan on taking the brand, in the next year or so?
And that's funny because I just wrote like a list of goals that I have. I have a sales goal that I want to hit.
Okay.
Next year. I want to be able to get like a design studio slash just an office space for myself and for the brand. I want to design more of my own things.
Okay.
I want to add swim to it. I want to add like home stuff, like candles and bath bombs and body oils and stuff like that. Just kind of like get the whole experience, the whole self-care experience. And that's pretty much it.
Have you always been designing, or is that something you just like
in
up?
life?
Yeah.
No, I haven't always been designing.
Okay.
But I'm always creating, though.
Right.
So I said, what would happen if I, went downtown and got a couple things and seeing what I can do.
So you were actually putting together yourself, not just like drawing it out?
Sometimes draw, but sometimes like I just like to, I'm a very visual person. So sometimes I just put it together, see what it looks like. And I'm like, oh, snap, this is kind of cute. Put it on myself. And I'm like, okay, this will work. So, yeah.
All right, cool. So I meant to ask you this before, but how big has social media been to? Actually, I'm gonna take it back a little bit. Over the past year, at what point did you realize that you actually had a sustainable business?
Over this year?
Yeah.
I would definitely say like during Black Lives Matter.
Really?
Yeah. From June to like maybe September, October, I was kind of like, okay.
Okay. Like, speak to that. Like, how did that movement relate to what you had going on there?
I mean, people were just buying stuff.
Just buying black.
People were buying black.
Yeah.
And what really told me that I need to start designing even more was like the first thing that I had ever designed for the brand. That's what I sold the most of during that time.
Really?
And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should do a little more of this.
You're right.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So the question I was going to ask you before, how big has social media been to helping, expand the brand for you?
Oh, it's everything.
Really?
It's everything. And most of my business comes from Twitter, because I feel like.
I would thought that Instagram would kind of
No, it hasn't. Like, Instagram's been fine, but, my following even that I have on Instagram has come from Twitter. Because people will see it and then they'll go to the Instagram page.
You do talk a lot of shit on Twitter.
No, but I do. But I'm talking about on the little kitten Twitter.
Oh, okay.
So
I think you're talking about your personal.
Not my personal.
Yeah.
I like to talk my crap on there,
right.
But no. Yeah, most of my business comes from Twitter because you got to think. People retweet your stuff. They comment. They, you got a chance to get. I think you have a chance more so now because the algorithm with IG is different now.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, you more so have a chance now to get more eyes on your brand with Twitter, I think.
Okay.
Depending also on your following, because obviously if you have 10 followers on Twitter, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's not gonna work out for you.
So yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, how has it been balancing being a entrepreneur with being let's call it a working creative? I know the pandemic is probably kind of stifled a little bit of that, but
yeah. No, I honestly feel like it all goes hand in hand.
Okay.
I feel like the entrepreneur side that I have to work with has kind of strengthened my business mind for all of it altogether. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't think that being an entrepreneur, dang, why am my words today? I'm like all over the place.
You good,
No,
man.
being an entrepreneur helps you be an entrepreneur as a working creative.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it all
you just
works
look
together.
At things differently.
You look at things differently, but either way, you're still creating. Being an entrepreneur, you're still creating.
Right.
You know, you have to decide what your pictures are going to look like, what you want your website to look like. That's all creative.
True.
So.
True. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm with you. So before, got a couple more questions before we wrap this up.
Okay.
How has the pandemic affected all that you do?
Well,
I know we talked a little bit about it before.
Yeah, no touring. I mean, it's definitely no touring, no shows, everything being digital now that you have to do. I feel like it's definitely had a hold on, a lot of things that I was doing creatively before.
Because touring was like the bulk of what you're doing.
Before, at that point, touring was like everything that I was doing.
Okay. Were you just touring with Stevie Wonder?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
How was that experience?
Oh my God, crazy.
Really?
It was crazy. Yeah. Like so many personalities.
Yeah.
So many entertainers' personalities. All in one place, and not even just him.
Right.
Like not even him. Like just working with everybody that also works behind the scenes.
Okay.
That makes the production come together. Whew, crazy.
Okay.
But being on that stage with all those people, like seeing how they react to him in any situation, like I think it's like priceless. As a performer. Yeah. It teaches you a lot.
Yeah, I bet. So answer an urban myth for me.
Okay.
Is Stevie Wonder really blind?
Yes. Oh my God, he's so blind.
So blind.
Like we have to walk him up the stairs so he could get on stage. Like he's blind as heck.
I mean, people be saying like he can really see, so.
He cannot see. He cannot see.
Okay. I just had to ask you since you're right here.
He cannot see. I swear.
He probably can see. He's probably picking up glasses and everything. Okay. So, a question for you is, I believe that we learn the most from negative experiences, especially in business.
For sure.
So, what was a negative experience that a customer had of, what you were doing, and what did you actually learn from that?
I learned.
What was the experience?
Not to ship with USPS anymore. They wasn't shipping my packages.
Like at all?
No, people weren't getting them. And it would be like a month later, they're like, hey, I didn't get anything. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I don't ship with them anymore. So everything else has been positive though, except people not getting their packages. So far, so good. Honestly.
Okay. So you haven't really ran into like any like major snags?
No, people being weird and rude. No, everybody's been cool. Let's just make sure. I hope it stays that way.
Keep that energy.
I hope it stays that way. But
gotta keep that
people have been cool. So
okay. So now I'm just getting into like random questions.
Okay.
So what do you feel like? I feel like everybody has like a superpower that makes them unique in their business.
Okay.
So like with me, I feel like even with doing like video or any creative work, my main talent or superpower is I understand like psychology. Like I know what people actually want when they say certain things. So what do you feel like is your superpower that makes you like special in whatever you do?
I think that I'm really good with people in general. Like I'm really good with interacting with them, and like you said, kind of figuring out what they want, what they need, what they like to see, what they need to see. Most importantly, I don't know. I'm very in touch with especially like with what other women want and what they need to what experiences they need. So
okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you just came across that by doing this line, or there's something that's kind of been in you?
It's just been in me. Yeah. I'm like, I'm always the person that my friends come to for advice on things. And, I'm just, I'm just really like that person. Like I'm a know-it-all when it comes to certain things. No, for real though.
See that.
No, I am when it comes to certain things. But yeah, I'm really like a girl's girl when it comes to certain things. So I think that helps with having a woman-centered brand, especially. So yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So before we wrap this up, just one last question for you. In regards to, actually, you can speak to both of them. As an entrepreneur in the intimates or lingerie brand, as well as a working creative, what do you feel like is the 2 or 3 things that anybody can do in that industry and they'll be successful? And like tangible things. People be saying, just work hard. But I'm talking about like, all right, make sure you network with these people or, whatever the case may be. What do you feel like that is? The blueprint.
I feel like the blueprint is never stop creating.
Okay.
Like make that a daily practice of yours, whatever it is that you do. Never stop creating. Always make sure every day you're working on something that has to do with what it is you're aspiring towards. Right. Yeah. And never stop promoting what you're creating too.
Okay. Are you always promoting yourself?
In one form or another, I think I am. So yeah, I think just letting people know what you're doing and not worrying about, okay, is this getting annoying to them? I mean, there's ways to not make it annoying.
Do you ever feel that way? Because sometimes I feel that way about certain stuff I do.
Like you don't want it to be like,
I feel like
I know I'm being annoying with this.
Yeah, I feel like people are like, oh, another video or whatever. So sometimes I will only put out 2 videos a week when I could really drop like 5 or 6.
Okay, well, I'll say this. And I was just thinking about this the other day. I think about it this way. I actually enjoy when I see people's content over and over and over again. Like, as long as you're not being weird, like DMing me links to your videos and things like that. Like, I like to see that. Mixtape. That's what I'm saying. Or spamming me on Twitter or something, but I don't really see that anymore. Right. But I like to see that people are consistent with their content. And I was also thinking about, too, I like when people have a page and all they talk about is that thing. Like, that's the person I can go to. Like, okay, for instance, there's certain people on Twitter, I know what to expect when I go to their page, and I might even go to their page because I want to see that, or on their YouTube channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I like to see people consistently doing that thing that they're doing. So I don't think it can ever get annoying. Like, how can that get annoying? I don't get annoyed when I see it.
I'm trying to think if I really get annoyed.
Do you get like if it's content that you enjoy and what you expect to see?
If it's something I enjoy, then go all in. Like,
but
I hate the people that only post like ever so often, but it's hot. But so I'd rather you be. I prefer quantity over quality for the most part.
Do you over quality? Why can't we have both?
True. But if I had to take one, I would prefer somebody post something every day and it be good.
Okay.
As opposed to posting once a month and it be perfect.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so I'd much rather have something where I'm consistently being fed and it's still good and you're still evolving instead of just that one thing.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
All right. Cool. Well, it's definitely going to take up too much of your time since you're here visiting.
Oh, this was so nice. Thanks for having me.
No problem. It's definitely spur of the moment.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. But definitely appreciate you coming by and doing this. So where can people find you at? How can they get in touch with you? How can they purchase stuff? All that good stuff.
Okay, so you can find me on obviously Instagram, Twitter, all that's social media stuff. It's at SANURA Official, SANURA Official. And the Little Kitten brand is on Instagram and Twitter as well. They're both Little Kitten LA. The website for Little Kitten is little-kitten.com. Everything's spelled the way it's supposed to be spelled. Let me see what else.
Follow her on Twitter where she's
I'm always talking. No, it's not wild.
It's not wild, but it's...
I be speaking facts.
That's debatable.
It's facts for me.
For you.
The girls always agree.
They usually do.
They do.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, definitely thank you guys for checking out this interview. It was a great time. Like I said, I haven't seen her in probably about good...
It's been a minute.
Yeah, since you came here for your that album release party you had.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was a minute ago. That was like 2011.
It wasn't that long.
An album release party?
For the green room joint.
That was 2011.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. That was 2011.
Damn. Yeah, okay.
9 years ago.
Well, it's been a while then. Mm-hmm. So make sure you guys follow her. Make sure, you stay in tune with everything you have going. Tap into all that good stuff. And that's pretty much all I have. So you guys stay safe, stay Rona free, but keep creating, keep shooting, and you guys have a good one.